What's up, everyone, and welcome to the all-new microtransaction. I'm your host, Liquid, and joining me today, I have the man that I feel like we gave him the name, Nexus Chris. Nexus Chris, how are you today?
Feeling the glow of green, my friend.
Oh,
Embrace in the, I was going to say ember light, but that doesn't make sense. Jade light,
there you go. There it is.
the Xbox.
Emerald Light?
Jade Empire. You see, I think Emerald, you think of Sega, then Sonic.
Yeah, I do think of
and then
Sega.
you're bouncing around at the speed of sound.
Ooh, okay, Chris. Now, Chris, as much as I'd love to talk to you about Sega, all right, because I was a Sega kid growing up, we're not going to talk about Sega. We're not. I'm sorry, we're just not doing it. We're not. Yeah, bamboozled yet again. You know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about the PSCU. For those who don't know what the PSC... Oh, is it a terrible name, Chris? Or is it the greatest cinematic universe, the cinematic universe we've been waiting for, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the cinematic universe that we don't deserve, and that happens to be none other than the superior PlayStation cinematic universe, Chris. The PSCU, PlayStation Cinematic Universe. Now, for those of you at home, you're probably confused, like, what the hell is Liquid going on about? All right, you're like, this dude had a little too many Crown Royals, and you know what? You'd be right. All right, you'd be 100% right. But you know what? I'm also right when it comes to this. All right, PlayStation Cinematic Universe. We know PlayStation, or at least we've seen it. I don't think they've like officially said anything. But we know that they've been trying to blur the line between gaming and their movies, their cinema, essentially, right?
Yeah.
We know what's been happening, right? They've changed their name. They've rebranded. That's a big set. They're now officially PlayStation Productions.
Ooh.
That's what they go by. And if
Pushing P.
Yeah, pushing P indeed, Chris. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Because like I just like somebody told me that you pushing P. I'm like, I didn't know what that meant, and then they played the song for me. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know this is where we were going with that. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Yes, PlayStation Productions. Even their intro, you see it. It's all like fancy. Looks very Marvel like, you know. And they're releasing some content. We know about the HBO Max. They have a little series going on, The Last of Us. All right. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it. All right. Uncharted movie that dropped. You've heard of it. Was it good?
Did good.
Apparently did good enough. Right? That's
apparently
what I'm hearing too.
It is good and we're definitely getting a second one.
Yeah,
I think it may have already been greenlit.
Dude, who would have thought? Like, I thought this thing was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, there's no way this thing survives. So yeah, so crazy. All right. We hear rumblings. Ghost of Tsushima. All right, Ghost of Tsushima. We hear they had a little PlayStation had a little deal with Netflix. All right, what's that about? We don't know. We're still trying to figure out what that is. But we know Ghost of Tsushima's involved. We've seen some imagery. There's some ties there. We know that I believe PlayStation is interested in making a movie based on Jin Sakai, the main character of Ghost of Tsushima.
I think it'd be a better show. That's me.
I honestly, you know what? I'll get into it a little later. We'll get into that because
we'll touch up on everything in time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, I don't know if everyone's familiar with this one. This was one of the more newer ones, but it's still been in production for a while. Twisted Metal.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Twisted Metal's been a while. It's been in production for a while. And we even heard some more information. We know it's tied to now Peacock. So so it seems like PlayStation's just trying to, like, I don't know if they're trying to fish around. You know, that streaming money, boy, it goes a long way. It must. Am I right?
I think they're casting a wide net.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so now you heard about HBO Max, you heard about Netflix, right? Now we're talking about Peacock here. For those who don't know, Twisted Metal, it's supposed to be a comedy. Anthony Mackie involved, right? For those who don't know who Anthony Mackie is, Captain Falcon. You know,
aka Captain America.
yeah, aka Captain America. He's involved. We got writers from Deadpool and Zombieland on it. So you know, and and that's paid. Peacock paid for that. They're like, hey, yeah, that's supposed to happen. Like, the money's already done. That deal is done. All right. Now we're here. God of War. God of War now coming, and who's involved? Amazon Prime. So again, as Chris said before, casting a wide net. HBO Max, Netflix, Peacock, Amazon Prime. It's getting crazy.
Yeah. The wide net they're casting makes you think that this is a serious front. That right now Sony wants to battle with Disney and Warner Brothers right now, because they are 1 and 2, and Sony's been holding that bronze medal hard.
Yeah.
And they know they know what people are going to movies and buying in from. That cinematic universe. Is okay.
Right.
We've seen one work. We've seen one fail. We've seen multiple fail. We've seen more losers than winners. Okay.
Yes.
Because we all remember Andrew Garfield's was supposed to have its own cinematic universe. There was supposed to be a Sinister Six movie. All this jazz. There was supposed to be a third Spider-Man movie. None of that happened.
No.
But a lot of this stuff sounds great. I think the God of War will be good. I don't think a cinematic universe will ever happen unless all these contracts have it built in. Like, hey, we can cross-pollinate with streaming platforms.
Right.
And that's the problem. Unless HBO goes on a buying spree. Because I think the best one that we'll do is the Last of Us one. God of War, I think it's gonna be real interesting, because if you start it from the very beginning, Kratos, not the best guy.
Yeah.
He's not good.
No, definitely not the greatest.
He only becomes a decent guy after, I don't know, what did he do? Just pretty much kill a planet for revenge?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, so...
Well, I think it's broken down into countries, is how they see it now. Like, that's how, like, the God of War universe sees it, is like Greece is like a country, or I'm sorry, is it Olympus? I'm sorry, Olympus is like its own country, like the Greek mythologies. That's why the Norse is over here. But yeah, dude, like you said, essentially they destroyed it. You see, now I like where you're going with that, though. By the way, are you done? I'm sorry if I'm interjecting. Like,
no, I have a lot of points, so feel free to interject.
Oh, okay. So, like, I like what you said there, because I feel like, where do you make a story with God of War, right? I'm thinking maybe you make one with the wife that he met with in this Norse one, where he started his heart. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell he holds a lot of pain in his game, obviously, right? Yeah. And you could tell he doesn't see his son as a father would see a son, at least in the beginning. He's very cold with him. You know, he sees and he obviously has his reasons, he has his background, you know, his story, you know. But maybe you do make a story with God of War God of War with Kratos, and essentially him meeting his wife. I don't know her name, but you know, in that Norse mythology, like kicking off the game essentially.
If you do something like that, it's just you have to do, and this might be a cringe thing with it, the Arrow thing, where you meet a fully fleshed character, but you're constantly doing flashbacks.
Yeah.
But then you run into the Arrow problem come around season 5. It's like, yo, you were only on this island so long. I've watched this show for so long. You're running out of time on this freaking island, and then you got to do wild stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the wild stuff Kratos did in his past was like kill his father, kill his uncles, kill himself.
He killed them all.
Yeah, he couldn't even kill himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's how strong Kratos is. Kratos can't kill Kratos. All right? So I'm going to ask you a serious question, Liquid.
Please.
When you do the actor for Kratos, do you hire a black guy or like a supposed Greek guy?
100% black guy. 100% black guy. Like, dude, from Kratos, I've always seen him as a black guy, and I'm gonna tell you why. All right, I'm gonna break it down for you. But I've always seen him as a black dude. Like, even and here's the odd thing, because in Greece he had the white skin. He had like yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm saying? He had the skin, and then that's when he gets the ash, But even just like, I don't know, like the bald head, the the goatee, the chin hair, I'm like, the only person I saw that could pull that off really freaking well is Kevin Garnett of the Boston Celtics. In the NBA. And dude, I think I'm like, dude, that dude, like, besides how bulky Kratos is, Kevin Garnett is a tall dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, and when he yelled, I'm like, man, that dude's fierce, bro. You see he's got the pointy goatee, he's got the bald head, and I'm like, he's a force to be reckoned with. So, like, that's who I associated Kratos with from growing up, And I'm just like, and even to this day, like, I see this Kratos now, and he's got the beard. So he's got I think the beard changes it a slight bit. But then when I see the voice actor, I'm like, dude, that dude, like, I don't know, he looks like Kratos to me. Like,
all of Kratos' voice actors, I think, have always been black. I know.
Maybe that I'm sure that has something to do with it as well.
Because it's like cool black guy voice. It's just just the truth.
Yeah.
Like, you have it with Darth Vader, you have it with Mufasa, you have it with Kratos.
Yes.
I think even Uncle Phil did some cool voice acting back in the day. I forgot who was. Shredder?
Morgan Freeman is a cool fucking. You know what I'm saying? My man narrates. You're just like, you just melt, dude.
And the thing is, you technically don't need Kratos to be the best actor because he is so stoic. He, like, things happen to Kratos is funny. Kratos is a reactive character in a proactive world. When I mean like, things happen to him and then he does the thing.
Yes, 100%.
So you don't need a very outgoing actor. You don't need him to be like doing monologue after monologue. You need him when he's like, boy.
Yes.
And like, you understand that he's like, come over here. Stop doing what you're doing. I don't need to say this stuff. But you understand, like, moments, because he's Kratos unanimously throughout the video games is always helping out kids,
right?
And you're like, oh man, you're a murdering psychopath. We love them kids, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Kratos loves the kids.
So TV show wise, I think it would be very good. The flashback thing could be done. It was done well, at least for Arrow. Couple first seasons, I thought it was very interesting. But we all know the past of Kratos, so it doesn't have the same hook,
right?
But leading off of Kratos, we have. I think it's pretty safe to say that Last of Us is gonna be a hit.
HBO, yeah.
HBO, more times than not, even their bad shows are good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think that goes without saying. The thing is, I want to talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, yeah, this is. I want to go down this list. I want to have this conversation.
Tell me what's your knee-jerk reaction with Ghost of Tsushima being a movie?
I think it could be done very well. I would personally prefer more of an artistic approach, and like, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima was sold on the simple, and even I didn't play it this way, on the fact that it's like, oh, this is your samurai movie feeling, black and white, the camera, like the little tears in the camera, you make it that way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, stay true to that, and I think you're already at a point where just like, oh man, I think people are going to be locked in. Now you just need the writing is the next part, which is the hardest part, which that's now you've just really got to nail the writing. That's really it. But I think that, at least visually, that's where it's going to set you. You're going to set the table with that.
I have to agree with you. So I'm so surprised that you said that. 100%. Because I'm like, make that artistic choice of your visuals, and if you do that, what I'm worried about is the writing for Asian actors.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, in Ghost of Tsushima, that sometimes gets lost in the sauce, is you're dealing with the humanity of these people in wars and the decisions they're making, and like when an immovable object means an unstoppable force,
right?
And something has to bend, and people's mindsets bend under the weight of war. And like, you need to write these actors, like, don't write them like Asian actors, just write them like actors, because sometimes it's hard for people to do that. Like, I think we still deal with that, and I think Ghost of Tsushima, even though it has to do with like samurais and war, I think at its core, it's a very like human story.
Right.
And I'm like, that's why I would prefer if it was done in a show, because I think you could dive into it, like the war, the samurai, the 1v1s, hell, because they're gonna do like the first scene is gonna be homie walking up. I'm like, who's the baddest?
Right. Right.
And then you just see him mess him up, and everyone's like, oh my god,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like people like,
sure.
I don't know. Like that's my concern with him, because I think Ghost of Tsushima could be one of those things where like, oh, we're getting comfortable, then it moves it to the next level. Because I think Ghost of Tsushima could be one of those things that becomes like hits Uncharted levels.
Yeah,
it could get it like Last of Us levels, where it's like, hey, dude, when we're doing a thing of who's holding this PlayStation flag, it could be very well.
No, absolutely. No, I think you're 100% right. And I'm right there with you. I think a lot of these would be better off as shows, as TV shows. I don't know. I think you see like things like The Witcher, right? And I feel, you see the success that's had. And I think so too. I think putting them as series would be best. I think Ghost of Tsushima would still do well as a Netflix, like do well. Now, will it review well? Will it be critically acclaimed or whatever? No, probably maybe not, But as far as viewership wise, I'm sure people who have Netflix will tune in, So at least, they'll have that. But will it be good? I don't know. But I do think a series would. I agree with that point. Series would be, I think, great actually.
And the Twisted Metal,
yeah,
I have zero expectations for it. You could literally do anything.
I'm right there with you, and I feel like that's the one. I feel like that's gonna be, if that's gonna be anything, that's gonna be the one that sneaks up on people, because that's gonna be the one that they have the most creative freedom with. They already said it's gonna be a comedy. You got Will Arnett as executive producer, right? And then, like you said, you got the writers from Zombieland and Deadpool. So it's just like, I don't know. And granted, it's so funny because like when you hear these words like, oh yeah, writers from this, writers from that, and you're just like I don't know. You're just like, okay, I get what you're doing. You're just trying to sell the movie or whatever. You're trying to create hype for it. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't mean really anything sometimes. But sometimes. But that's what I'm trying to get at, is that sometimes it does though. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, like you said, maybe the fact that you have, because I have little to no expectations as well. And the fact that I'm hearing a comedy, I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of like the fact that I'm like, maybe that it's a comedy. I hope they go balls to the wall comedy with it if they can. You know what I'm saying? Why not make it like to the point that, yeah, it's obviously a fictional story. Make it so unbelievable it's comedy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, go nuts with it. Go nuts with it.
I when I think of what I would want out of a Twisted Metal, I would think of what if Quentin Tarantino wrote a movie but it was a comedy?
Oh,
like have the dialogue that Quentin has in his movies,
right,
but make it in this ridiculous world where there's a psycho clown running around killing people in cars.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You like let it be that world, because you only really remember one character. No one ever remembers the other ones.
No,
it's just the clown,
right? Obviously,
the clown that drives the ice cream truck. Yeah, there you go. You see what I'm saying? So you can literally do you can do so much. You only need to do one thing from the video games,
right? No, and so yeah, I think that one has that one could have the potential of sneaking up on people. There is like a synopsis of what the story is going to be about, I guess. About Anthony Mackie's character, or he's like, he doesn't remember his past or something like that, and he's apparently a milkman, like a wise ass milkman is what they call him or something. And yeah, he doesn't remember his past, but he's trying to like get his community, like he's trying to build a community, or he something about community, I forget what they say. Anyways, the whole thing is he joins this vehicular combat Twisted Metal thing, and yeah, that's kind of how they're going with it apparently. But hey, a little more power to him. Yeah. But yeah, that's it though. I mean, anything else you have that you can think of? Any questions? Any concerns? Anything you have to tell the people at home?
I think this could be the potential of being awesome. Sonic, League of Legends, these franchises have really put. Hell, I'm gonna throw Mortal Kombat in there. I don't care what anyone says. Has pushed video games movie to the forefront, where it's something like, hey, this is legitimate entertainment, and this could be the next step from the groundwork that's being put in from other things. And I don't think we need, by the way, can't stress enough, we don't need movies and video game or movies and TV shows of video games. They need us.
Yes, 100%. That's a fact. That's a fact. Also, that being said, Cuphead's a pretty cool show on Netflix, so check that out as well. It's actually pretty cool. Love it. I need to watch that. Yeah, dude, it's pretty dope here. But I'm gonna leave you all per usual. Love each other. Take care. But above all else, hey, just be cool. This has been a microtransaction.